welcome to the Bronze Age Monsters bonus show. This is a show that we make for our loyal patrons each and every week. This season, we are going to be talking about a satanic movie. We're going to be talking about what we've been reading, what we've been doing. And tonight, we are going to be talking about the film Fear No Evil from 1981, directed by Frank LaLoggia. Is that how we're pronouncing it?
I would think it's, since it was Robert Loggia, I would think it was Frank LaLoggia.
Frank LaLoggia. And yeah, right off the bat, did you know this? Did you know that he directed The Lady in White?
Not until I watched it.
Right?
Yeah, I had a hard time reconciling that.
I know. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. He only directed 3 films. He directed this one, The Lady in White, and then like some B movie from 1995, I think, and that was it.
Yeah. So if you don't know, The Lady in White is from like I think 89, and it's something that I rented at the time when it came out. It has Lucas Haas as a lead in it, and it's a period piece set in like the 40s, early 50s, maybe.
It's early 50s.
But it's like this like New England-y era, or maybe Midwest story set around Halloween. This very poignant, moving ghost story that has that really moved me, and I connected with immediately and felt all the feels for. And so I would watch it pretty regularly around October. And then we found out that you and I both have the same experience with it, that we both love that film. So I was surprised because I frequently will explain that to people. And they're like, I've never heard of that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, my wife was the one that turned me onto it. She saw it as a small kid, and yeah, we both love it. But yeah, you're the only other person I know that's seen it and likes it. So
it really should be more widely known. And yeah, let's talk about Fear No Evil though, because where do we start on this thing?
Well, I guess we can start with a little background. The film was shot in LaLoggia's hometown of Rochester, and it was shot in 79. And funny, the working title was Mark of the Beast. And yeah, I was reading that, yeah, it was filmed. There was a lot of bad weather when it was filmed, kind of snowfall when there wasn't supposed to be snow. And yeah, so you rolled and got this one last week. I think you rolled a 26, correct?
Yeah.
So that was one of your 666 ones,
666s,
where we go down into the dungeon of the pinball game.
Yep.
And so yeah, this was one of those. I guess we can just jump right in. It kind of opens on someone named Father Thomas Damon, who's entering this kind of. It says it's like an estate, but it looks like a castle. It looks like a weird, like kind of castle-y type estate. And he encounters some pretty terrifying, like demon-possessed humans. He meets a guy who claims to be Lucifer, who is promptly impaled and vows to return. It kind of clunkily jumps to New York in 1963, to the birth and baptism of Andrew Williams. Then it jumps again forward 18 years later to his birthday. And yeah, this kid is basically the reincarnation of Lucifer.
But doesn't it start even before that scene you talked about with some type of explanation that Lucifer is a fallen angel, and that the 3 archangels of Gabriel, they say it's not Gabriel, they say Gabrielle. They feminize it oddly, and Mikhail instead of whatever.
Michael.
And the third one is,
I can't remember the third one is, but yeah, that is a choice that they make in this. They feminize the three of the archangels that do fight against Lucifer. Yeah, you're right. There is kind of like a prelude to all of this.
So the prelude sets up that Lucifer fell from God's grace and challenges him, and the 3 archangels, when they can all combine together, can defeat him and end his whatever, Satan-y stuff. And it's very clearly implied from the beginning that they reincarnate constantly until this drama plays out. So we see that Father Thomas Damon, he's actually, I forget which one's which angel he is, but
is he Gabriel? I think
he's Gabrielle.
Yes.
So hard to remember to say it that way.
Very confusing.
Yeah. So when he impales Lucifer, who is a local wealthy guy who is building a giant castle to do satanic stuff in, he kind of vows to come back, and he does as this other character that we meet.
As Andrew Williams. And
As Andrew Williams.
As
you can't
Andrew
pick a more
Williams.
banal name for Satan than Andrew. Hi, I'm Andrew Williams. Satan.
So yeah, we first see 18-year-old Andrew at his birthday party. It was like the worst birthday party ever. Cake is spilled. His parents fight. His mom is mysteriously hit by an iron. And
this is Haversham decline to come. It was so depressing.
Yeah, oof, God, yeah, it was grim. His dad knows something's up, and it's a little spooky. Then it just becomes a weird, like 80s high school movie,
which is funny because the director resented that, and everything I've read, he's like, I hated the fact that this was pitched as to the public as a high school horror movie, like it's Carrie. He said, I didn't like the posters, which was a page from a high school annual that was burning as the Lucifer character's eyes are glowing and he's screaming in his senior photo. Yeah. He was like, I don't get this whole teen thing. This is a studio kind of for distributors probably forcing this kind of like idea of like, we got to get the teens in here.
Yeah, but a lot of it takes place.
Story.
No, but a lot of it just takes place in a high school and is a high school movie.
So we have to talk about that. And we have to talk about the fucking soundtrack, because if he keeps pushing back, then he had no control over this film, because this soundtrack was the Ramones, the Talking Heads,
Patti Smith
doing a Hey Joe cover, Boomtown Rats, B-52s, Richard Hell, the Sex Pistols doing Anarchy in the UK.
Yeah.
The Rosillos, or I always thought it was Rosillos, but I'm sure it's not. I've never heard it. I've always seen it. Yeah, so it's got a very modern punk or post-punk soundtrack. It's set largely in high school, and the director / screenwriter is like, it's not a high school film.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I mean, maybe he was mad that it kind of got marketed that way, but there's a huge part of it that is a high school film. It has a bully. It has there's a lot of actually my favorite part of this movie was probably a really intense demonic game of dodgeball. Like that's like it's high school.
Yeah. So, we need to talk about Andrew a bit.
Okay.
So Andrew, first of all, Renee watched the first part of this. Renee never watches anything fully psychotronic and kind of because she falls asleep or goes to bed or starts reading a book. So she saw like the first few scenes of this high school stuff, and she's like, wondering like how old these people are supposed to be, first of all, because there's some weird age shit. But there's some homophobia elements to this that you can't not talk about.
There are, but
for instance, the bully, all the bullies and the Antichrist, who is the victim, are in the shower after gym, and the bully's saying like, wait, let's go on a date, and like saying let's like extrusively homoerotic stuff teasingly at him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you're too busy for a date? Well, then just give me a kiss. And he goes up and kisses him. And then like, it's almost like they're electrocuted and they can't stop kissing. And it's this weird thing. And then they both like fly back in the shower walls of the high school and are like curled up in the fetal position. And there's just a homosexual undertone that felt not entirely positive to me. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, there's definitely that goes through it, which was confusing. The more I kind of learned about the lead who plays Andrew is Richard J. Silverthorne.
I know nothing about this guy.
So he worked in the makeup department of the film as well. He wrote the novelization.
Wow.
Weirdly enough, after this. So he but he was a gay man. He made kind of experimental film in college. He was out.
Cool.
He was and he actually tragically he died of AIDS in 1987.
Holy shit.
So and this is his only acting credit. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
So there's a lot of layers going on here. There's weird homophobia that is definitely on the outer shell of this movie, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like
He's in on it.
He's in on it. And Richard Silverthorne seemed to be pretty tight with LaLoggia. Like they were kind of, I don't know. I don't exactly know what happened. There's a lot of different layers to this. There's almost like a strange trans layer at the end too, with the bully Tony, who suddenly has like fully exposed breasts. And but you're right, like there's a lot of things that are brought up in this film, but the way that they're brought up isn't necessarily positive. And I don't know if that's us looking back with a modern lens at something that was, I don't know, from 1981, and you know, gay themes in films were very complicated.
Yeah, I tried to tease that out and tried to think about lenses of different eras, and I could not make heads or tails of it. I felt like it was very complicated.
It was very complicated.
That's all I could say about it. It was like, I feel like it's not hateful. It's not ignorant. It's not pro. It's not like I didn't know what it was. It felt really weird.
It felt really weird, and it felt like it was trying to tackle themes that might have been better done in a better movie,
like beyond its script.
Yeah, but this movie is a B movie. It's not particularly well made or well written. The soundtrack is obviously what most of the money was spent on. I don't think it's any spoiler to just say zombies are weirdly tacked on. Mm-hmm. It's strange. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And yeah, I think for me, yeah, those complicated homosexual themes and how they weren't necessarily all positive, it put a weird sheen on this film that was just uncomfortable and strange. Like I don't think this film knew what it wanted to be, and I don't think it knew how to properly deal with issues like that.
I think we should mention some of the behind the scenes stuff. So this was LaLoggia and his brother like raised like $250,000 or something, or $75,000. They got local like businessmen, like dentists and shit. That whole like Ed Wood kind of thing. Like
it really was.
They went around to their people in, was it Rochester?
Yeah.
And raised this money, and they eventually accrued essentially about $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Wildly enough, this thing got ticket sales of $3 million.
Yep.
So it was a pretty big success, all things considered.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of it was done in his hometown. The high school was his high school.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had a hard time figuring out what to do with this thing mentally. Like, it was like post The Omen, I don't know. I didn't know what, like you were saying, like it was confusing more than anything else. Like it was, he didn't know what he wanted to say.
It was weird. Yeah, I mean, I think it's when the storyteller is obviously so confused, you as a viewer, you're left baffled by what he's trying to say and what this movie is trying to do. I hadn't seen too many films like this before, to where I couldn't enjoy it on a psychotronic level, because I was just like, I don't understand what he's trying to say. Like, and not just, I couldn't enjoy a lot of this movie, and I'm kind of grasping at how to describe that.
Yeah, I am too. I'm flummoxed by this film. I also watched it. So I shared some links to this film divided up in 2 clips on Dailymotion, which you can find yourself if you try. But it's also on Shudder right now, which I didn't realize until recently. But I didn't know. Like, I didn't. Normally, something like this where I watched it, I wasn't sure what I thought of it. I would watch it, and then if I had the time, which I did, I would watch it again to revisit it and kind of work through stuff. I didn't want to. It was, but I didn't dislike it. It was such a strange reaction. I thought like the guy that played Andrew was pretty good.
He was good.
He was good in being off-putting and like detached from all of his fellow schoolmates, which makes perfect sense as a guy who was a openly gay man. I just felt like it didn't understand what it was, and so the whole time I didn't understand what it was, and so I was like enjoying the soundtrack, enjoying some shots here and there, enjoying some sequences, but just like as a whole, it just did not land for me.
No, and I was very curious what you thought, and I'm glad that we are on the same page on this, because I mean, you've seen hundreds of Psychotronic movies, and I don't think you've been confused at a whole lot of them. Like either ones you're just like, oh, this is bad, like the filmmaker's bad, they're bad at this, or this is so bad that it's kind of good and entertaining, and this guy really believed in this and things like that. But with this, I did not know what to make of it, and I did not enjoy watching it. And
it's weird to me that it has to be a passion project based on the way this was made. But I did not enjoy watching it, and normally when someone's like, on That's Cool, That's Trash, we watched that British guy's films that were like these labors of love, like that Atlantis movie and stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm not enjoying this as a film, but the fact that this guy loved the shit out of this and tried so hard, I'm enjoying it on a level I wouldn't normally. I thought this would transfer to this. I did not feel that for this at all.
No, I loved that guy's films. We watched two of those together for That's Cool, That's Trash. We watched Atlantis and Death Run.
Mutants, Death Run. Mutant City or whatever it was.
There's so many. We've watched so many bad movies, and this is a bad movie, but it's not one that is enjoyable to watch, and I don't know why. It's a weird little artifact of the early 80s that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I've been struggled to like define like why I saw it as a bad movie. Like,
I know, me too.
It's competently photographed. Like everything is competent. It's in the narrative and the execution that something doesn't land, and I found it off-putting.
Yeah, I know.
Like I thought about even just putting it on in the background while I like played solitaire and did some other shit or ate lunch, just to kind of refresh myself today. And I was like, I don't want to watch it again.
No, I would not recommend it, and I did not want to watch it again either. So
how do you rate that then? Because we have claws.
Claw down for me. I just think it was a failure in every way. And even though the main actor was gay and was kind of a gay activist and did really cool things, but the weird homophobic slant on this was strange and very off-putting.
Yeah. I'm disinclined to go down, but I'm definitely like I can't recommend it, but
I know, right?
It felt like such a failure. It's weird because I'm speaking so negatively about it, but it is a movie. Like you'll watch like a bad movie and like this isn't even a movie, right? Like it's a bunch of scenes cut together, or it's like a guy pointing a camera who has no idea how to film or whatever. Like this is a movie. Yeah, it just doesn't work. In so many ways, it doesn't work in a way that makes it fun to watch. It doesn't work in a way that makes it fun to hate watch. It doesn't work in a way that makes it fun to watch as a film. Like it's weird. It might be satanic.
It might be. Yeah. Well, this was.
So I'm sticking with this. I think it's worth looking at it if you're a person like me who's like, I want to check stuff out, and even if I don't think I'll like it or hate it.
Yeah. No, I was. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like I was kind of like at the edge of the ballroom, like at the high school dance, like looking at everybody dancing, and like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
Get it.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
I'm not stoned enough to leave. I'm just gonna stand here and judge you.
Well, should we let the Dark One choose another film for us?
The Dark One should, and if you can film it, that'd be great.
Okay, I'm gonna film it.
because I just want people to know this is real.
This is real. This isn't. There's no Hollywood trickery here.
Hold on. Can I pull up my my little list first?
Yes, pull up your list.
Are you nervous? Because I'm nervous.
A little bit.
Okay. It's not just me. Okay.
Okay. All right. I am rolling. Starting to record. Okay. We got 20.
Sorry, I accidentally closed the movie list right when you rolled. Hold on. 20 is Satan's Cheerleaders.
Okay.
So we have
promising.
Yes, we have a comedy, probably a sex comedy, maybe, I don't know, to offset this weird film we just watched. So I'm kind of stoked, actually.
Yeah, me too. No, well, yeah. When's it from? I mean, 70s. So
I think it's 77. Let me pull it up again. Sorry. Bronze Age Monsters.
My birth year.
It is. I don't have that list up. I think it's 79 or 77.
Well, they're all 70s unless they're the weird 3/6s, right? So
right.
So yeah, no, that's great. Satan's Cheerleaders. Hopefully, we'll be able to find that on YouTube, so we can do a watch along on our Discord.
Oh boy, it's by Graydon Clark.
Okay,
he is a legendarily bad filmmaker.
Okay,
this should be good. I'm just making sure it's on YouTube right now because I would love to watch it with you guys. The trailer is. I believe it is.
All right.
Okay. So we should schedule that.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, if you're watching this and you're not on the Discord, man, you got to get on the Discord. If you're a patron, not on the Discord, oh man, it's so much fun. Matt will put a link up again on our Patreon page. And then, yeah, also, if anyone who's a patron and is watching this and hasn't given us a review yet, if you would give us a review and send me a pic, you need some buttons.
Yeah.
You definitely need some Son of Satan buttons. So,
serious
yeah,
buttons.
If you haven't pulled the trigger on that, please do. Write us a review, 5 stars preferred. Take a screenshot of it, send it to us. I will send you buttons.
Yeah. And you're not in a cult, by the way, if you get the buttons. It's just a button.
Yeah, it's just a button. They're fun. Or badges for our British folks.
Is that what they call them?
Is that what they call them? Oh boy, I'm going to get called out on that.
I'm remembering in a Smith song,
Mm-hmm.
one of the songs where they rail against label bullshit. They mention a tacky badge as shit that the label gives out. So
okay, fingers crossed.
I'm guessing yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Kickstarter Catch-Up. Make this kind of quick. This is Dagger. I supported this a while ago. I think I saw Vince B from 11 O'Clock Comics support it, and I checked it out, and I was like, okay, it's sci-fi and fantasy anthology from a variety of different artists, and I was interested, and this was done by Matt Emmons, who later I found out was the guy who did Gardener, the graphic novel that I absolutely loved and reviewed on the first show. So he contributes the story and is the editor of this.
That's awesome.
This has a ton of different stuff, and it's I'm going to show a bunch of stuff on here. So I'm not going to try and do this on the air, but it is the quintessential anthology. There is the gamut of stuff on here. There is stuff that I flipped my wig over. I mentioned on the Discord that I fell in love today because I found a person named Zay Bernay who does like the most gorgeous, like Brian Boland-y type of art. And apparently they've been doing a post-apocalyptic web comic like this, all of this kind of detail for years. And they collected the first, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years and 120 page, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it runs the whole gamut. There's stuff that's like queer comics that are just like set in a medieval thing, but are like just like trolls doing queer comics with modern language and parlance, and there's stuff that's like Matt Emmons does a story that's kind of set in his almost gardener world. It runs the full gamut, and like any anthology, I think you're going to love some of it and not all of it. And I think I actually dug about 70% of it, which is a lot for me. So
that's pretty good for an anthology.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's available now commercially, and I backed the second one before even reading the first one, and I can't wait to dig into it. And there's so many artists on here that I'm so stoked to check out. Like, look at this. It looks like early Allred, like the original Mad Men.
Mad Men, yeah.
When he was like rough. Anyway, I love so much stuff in this. Like I said,
that's cool.
That guy who does this guy, Zay Bernay. I can't say enough about this. Like
that's awesome.
It's like Brian Boland or something, like just super detailed. So I love it. I recommend it, actually. It's harder for me to recommend anthologies because
I know
it's like a mixtape, right? I mean, it's like you're gonna like half the bands, but I liked more than half the bands. So check out Dagger. There's a second one, which I'm going to be reviewing in the future as well.
That's awesome. I will have something next week, as you can see, since I'm like blowing my nose and sneezing through this whole thing, that I'm pretty sick. So
you're a pro.
Yeah, but I'm a pro, and so I stuck with it. But yeah, forgive me. I'll feel better next week, and I'll have more stuff to contribute.
Well, Jacob, we love you, and we want you to get well.
Thank you so much. So yeah, that's our second Bronze Age Monsters bonus show.
We don't have a sign off yet.
Yeah, we don't have a sign off yet. Again, we're gonna get on that. Wow, we got to do this by the third episode, or people are gonna be calling us out on our shit.
Do we?
Yeah,
I feel like the difference is on Werewolf by Night. I just trippingly, like jokingly, was babbling about like different types of taglines and stuff.
Yeah, and
then one or two stuck.
That's right.
Like right now, we're just abstaining. Is that bad? Like just saying, we don't know what it is, so we can't do it.
I don't know. It is. I don't know. It is hesitant. Neither of us should be creatively hesitant. So yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna solidify something by next episode.
Okay.
No more of this flitter flatter.
Okay. Well, you rest up.
Thank you. Yeah, and we'll see you all next time. Satan sign off.
Satan's cheerleaders.